Hi everybody, I hope all of you are doing well. Today I'm coming with a new video with Fortios 6.2. In today's video, I'm going to discuss each and every features of Fortios 6.2 with short description. The purpose of this video is to show what's new in Fortios 6.2, which is recently released by Fortiget Firewall. Okay, let's get started. After a successful upgradation of FortiOS 6.2 from FortiOS 6.04, you will have a dashboard with three functionalities, or with three functions or three sections, you can say. This is a status. In this section, you will have all of the systems, license, and cloud information, security fabric information, CPU, memory, sessions, and disk uses, etc. And the second sections, you'll have top sources. I mean, all of the top information provided by FortiOS from actually FortiCloud, where you can find top sources by bytes, top destination by sessions, top application, top website by session, etc. You can customize the widget as far as your requirement, but in today's video I just wanted to show what is the changes after a successful upgradation of FortiOS 6.2. Then in security tab, in security section, you will have all kinds of security related informations, such as top compromised host, top threats by threat level, FortiClient client detected vulnerabilities, host scan summary, etc. Top vulnerable endpoints detected by FortiClient client, etc. Which functionalities you will have by default, but I also added advanced threat protection statistics. After that, I also added a different section for traffic monitoring with different widget. This is actually customized by me to monitor my physical and logical interfaces and their bandwidth uses, etc. Then you'll have a security fabric. In security fabric, there are lots of changes actually. What is the security fabric by Fortinet? Actually, security fabric is the lots of recommendation and suggestion on your current configuration provided by Fortinet actually. In security fabric, here you can find your physical topology. In this section, it will shows how your firewall connected physically with internet and your devices or distribution devices, etc. In logical topology, you will have all kinds of logical and physical information, such as logical physical interfaces and logical interfaces such as VLAN, etc. Okay. The lots of the major changes you will notice in security rating. In security rating, you will have a great visualization by Fortinet Security Fabric, in which you will have a details information about your current configuration, and there are lots of recommendation and suggestion by Fortinet, recommended suggestion actually. Here you can see from this graph 35 configuration are passed and 13 is failed. 5.8% is exempted and unmet dependencies. Actually, it will shows different fail information, fail configuration due to the absence of different Fortinet related devices, switches, APs, etc. So if your organization, if your company are configured with all kinds of Fortinet devices, then if your configuration are meet with the security fabric recommendation, then you will have uh, almost all of the setting passed by Fortinet security fabric. So there are in my organization, all others say devices are not from Fortinet. Some of them are Cisco, some of them others Wi-Fi routers, etc. That's why it shows some security fabric rating failure, and there are also some setting uh, you might not be able to implement due to some restriction or etc. Such as audit log setting, 40 analyzer servers first, 40 client protected devices. 40 client protected in my organization, all of the endpoint devices are not protected by protected by 40 client. Currently, we are using actually Sophos, which has already licensed to 2020. That's why we are not using 40 client devices endpoint yet. That's why you can see 16 marks are deducted for this. For valid HTTPS certification, it also deducted 10, etc., etc. But my major configuration is done, is recommended by Fortinet Security Fabric. But here the major changes is the graphical visualization of your current configuration. By the helping of this security rating by Security Fabric, you can improve your configuration day by day and with the best practices provided by Fortinet Security Fabric. Here you can see some automation. Actually, you can configure some alert and automation messages or alerts for changing some settings and compromising hosts and reboot of your appliances, etc., etc. Here you can see I already configured some of the setting from them. You can configure automation, any of the automation from there. Here lots of new automation system are added after upgraded to Fortios 6.2. Here I am currently using compromised host configuration changes and reboot system automation, etc. Rest are not configured yet. In setting, here you can see in sidebar all others related cloud information and guidelines, etc., etc., and information documentation, download 40 client download links, etc., which is required, maybe required by any of the system administrator or network administrator. Here you can see some settings. If you have 40 telemetry, you can configure it. If you have a 40 analyzer, you can configure it. But there actually nothing's new instead of sidebar. Then fabric connector. In fabric connector, lots of new fabric connector are added by Fortinet. Here you can see Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Oracle, Cloud, ACI, OpenStack, Noise, etc. etc. Lots of fabric security fabric connector are also added. Here you can also see some related information and related links, guidelines from different services. Let's go to the 40 view. In 40 view, there are major changes happens. You can see in previous OS there are lots of functionalities, lots of options, but in Fortios 6.2 some of the options are reduced and some of the options are actually migrated to login report and monitor setting, etc. Monitor setting. But it's also helpful. Here you can see some major changes in applications. You can see the application with protocols number or etc. But in previous OS you can see the application category and application with their names. This was very helpful actually for us, but now it's is some it is difficult to identify the application with their protocols number. In websites, there are nothing actually changes. There are not any major changes as like as before. Here from there you can see some other settings and features like web categories and search phrases, etc. from this menu. And here the previous option, table view and bubble chart, etc. Threads. In thread setting, there are nothing actually new. Compromise host, I think this is new by in FortiView. By compromise host, you can see some compromise host detected by FortiClient endpoint antiviruses. Actually, here you can see the policies which is currently active, currently running in firewall in last 1 hours. And here you can see all session combinedly. So there are in FortiView you can see there are major changes. Some functionalities are detected and some already migrated or shifted to login report and monitor actually. In network setting, all other functionalities are actually same, but I noticed some settings, some changes in SD-WAN rules. In SD-WAN rules, you can see deep inspection. In SD-WAN rules, you can see when you are adding some applications in SD-WAN rules, you can see some locked application, which indicates actually this is cloud-based application which required to uh, deep inspection to process this application. Here is the changes in performance SLA. There is a interesting changes which is very helpful for us actually. In performance SLA, you can see graph for each of your performance SLA configuration. Okay, this is the changes, and this will uh, be very helpful in network setting. There are 40 standard setting now added. Okay, this is new. Then we can go to system, because rest the settings is same as like as before, but here in advanced setting you can see the cost is added in Fortios 6.2. By using cost, you can prioritize the SD-WAN member for best gateway, for better gateway. You can manipulate that by using cost setting. Here is the changes, and rest are actually same. There is no major changes in system settings. Actually, in system setting, there is no major changes. According to my, I noticed a little changes in FortiGate filtering service reachability checking by UDP. Now you can checking. You can monitor your FortiGate filtering service availability with UDP port, HTTP and HTTPS. Okay. Here also uh, port 53, 88 and newly added with 80, and you can monitor this service by using UDP port. This is the changes I noticed. No major changes are here happen. Let's go to policy and object. In policy and object, there are some major changes happen actually. The major changes happen actually in each and every policy. You can see the inspection mode. Inspection mode you can configure flow based or proxy based independently for each and every policy. But in previous operating system, you can configure this inspection mode from system setting, and this will applicable for all of the policies. But here you can apply the inspection mode independently in each and every policy without changing the system inspection mode. Okay, this is the main advantages you will have in Fortios 6.2 IP version 4 policy. Here is the new setting added is application authentication rules. Okay, in authentication rules you can configure different authentication rules. Okay, with SSO, etc. I'll show that the configuration in my upcoming videos in details, but here is the changes you will find in authentication setting, which is not present before. And there are no major changes in IP version 4 policies. Here is the another major changes you will see: traffic shaping profile. Okay, this is very helpful for traffic shaping. How it is going to be used, how it is very effective, I'm going to show you in my upcoming videos. Just keep in touch with my channel. Okay, in traffic shaping policy, I just wanted to show how this is trafficking profile will work. Here each and every policy, previously we were assigned a shaper. Now here we assign group and give a group number, and then we can create traffic sharing policy by using this group number. Okay, I'll show that in details, but there are no major changes in IPv policy and object, except those settings. Then in security profiles there are some changes. Antivirus, in antivirus you can see, in antivirus you can now see virus outbreak prevention. You can now use FortiGuard outbreak prevention database and use external malware block list. Okay, some other settings as like as before. Okay, and here you can see the scan mode. Okay, you can scan antivirus with this protocol by using quick or full scan mode. Okay, this functionality are new in Fortios 6.2. In previous version there is no uh, a scan mode with quick and full. Okay, then in web filter you will notice in web filter there are lots of uh, changes happens. Here you can see the web filter categories with new visualization. Actually it is redefined by FortiGate. Okay, and category users quota as like as before, but here you can filter by file. Okay, this is the new functionality in web filter system. Here you can filter the users web browsing with different file types and etc. You can block different file types and throw HTTP or FTP. Okay, this is the new functionality, file filter. And then others actually as like as before. Then in DNS filter you can also use uh, external IP block list and DNS translation, external IP block list and DNS translation. Okay, you can add some external IP block in this list. This is new in DNS configuration. Okay, in application control, there are application control. You can see one new functionality. This is network protocol enforcement. You can enforce the application profile with network protocol enforcement. You can enforce any of the network protocol which might be useful, and users will have to be use these types of protocol. Okay, I'm going to show that in my upcoming videos actually in details. And rest other settings are as like as before, but the visualization, there are some changes in visualization, and you can see in sidebar application database information, current database version, and some documentation links. Okay, then IPS intrusion prevention. Here, actually, the database is very updated, and there are lots of uh, red-based signatures added. Okay, here you can see the database, which is very upgraded as like as before. And previously there were 11,000 signature something signature, but here you can see 12,434 signatures. In email filter, here also you can filter email by file filter. Okay, here you can filter your email by different types of files. You can control different types of file incoming and outgoing mail conversation. Okay, this is the new functionality in email filter, I mean NTS form filter. Previously this is NTS form filter, but now this is renamed as email filter. Okay, data leak prevention, data leak prevention, there are some changes, but not vital. Okay, and web application firewall, you can see some uh, changes, some major changes. In previous version, the constraint information, constraint databases were not present, but in Fortios 6.2 this is present. In SSH or SSL inspection, you can see the customers deep inspection and no inspection. This is new actually. Now you can implement on IP version 4 policy with no inspection. Also with you can also use deep inspection and certificate inspection. You can use also able to use no inspection instead of any. Okay, this is the new in SSH, and rest are actually same as like as before. In VPN, VPN, you can see some changes in SSL VPN setting. Okay, redirect. This is actually redirect HTTP to SSL VPN. Okay, you can now redirect your users from insecure HTTP protocol to SSL VPN when end users try to connect with SSL this application. This is the new option. Rest other functionalities are actually same. Okay, there is nothing new. And you can now enforce client certificate. Okay, here is the option. Okay, and there is no other changes actually in VPN. In users and devices, there's the interesting changes which I liked very most. This is device inventory. Okay, now the Fortios 6.2 will give you the overall information of your organization's endpoint devices and their types, their manufacturers, etc., etc. Okay, this is the functionality which I like very much. Okay, from there I can easily identify uh, what types of devices are my end users using, and what is their operating system, what is their manufacturer, etc., etc. Okay, what are the unknown devices, etc. This is the main attraction actually, which I liked very much. Rest other actually same. Guest management, rest other actually same. Here you can see a new features, which is SAML SSO authentication features, authentication technology, which is implemented in Fortios 6.2. Rest settings actually same. There is no major changes in other settings. Okay, here in Wi-Fi and switch controller there is an interesting changes, which is Wi-Fi maps. Now you can add your organizational maps, network maps. Now after adding maps you can place the Wi-Fi devices uh, according to your map. Then from there you can also configure and manage each and every devices from this functionality, which will actually give you a better visualization where your end devices and Wi-Fi devices placed in which location. And this will give you also better manageability from this functionality. Okay, rest other information actually same. And here you can see this is the 40 link interfaces, which is I think newly added. Security profile group, I think this is also newly added. And then login report, I think login report is very much same as like as before, but there are some changes actually. I think there are some um, section which is added from Fortiview, I think. Okay, Fortiview. Okay, then in monitor there are also nothing changes. There are no major changes actually in monitor. Okay, this is the details description, actually details description and details showcase of Fortios 6.2. I hope all of you like this video. That's why please don't forget to subscribe the channel if you don't uh, miss my upcoming videos with details description and details visualization as like as this one. Okay, thank you for watching and take care.